I'm super excited. Hello everyone. Today we're doing our first fountain pen unboxing of 2023, and it is highly anticipated by moi mainly. January was a dry January for me, which meant it was a no spend on fountain pens and other stationery products. I didn't allow myself to buy anything additional. I had to use what I had on hand already, and I have plenty of stationery supplies. I plan on doing no spends once a month each quarter this year in 2023. Man, it was tough. Oh, there were so many things that I was really wanting to purchase, but I did have a reward at the end. If I managed not to spend in January, then I would allow myself to buy a fairly expensive, at least to me, fountain pen that had been on my wish list. So today we are going to be unboxing the Platinum 3776 Century Fountain Pen, shape of a heart, which for February seems to suit the theme. And I ordered it from Jet Pens. So let's crack this thing open. I'm so excited. Hey guys, please try to ignore. I know sometimes it's hard. I'm like this too. If I fixate on something in a video, it's like the rest of the video blanks out for me, where I fixate on things like someone's Baby Yoda Grogu Band-Aid because they couldn't find an adult plain Band-Aid in their medicine cabinet. How can I not own any adult Band-Aids? Whatever. Anyway, sorry for this little addition that may be sort of distracting, but I bashed the out of my knuckle and it's kind of gross. So better the Band-Aid than the alternative. Gross open wound. Yick. I gotta be more careful. Anyway, speaking of being careful, let's give the lady a box knife. Great. Because that's not liable to lead to any accidents. Don't forget to cut away from yourself, not towards yourself, unless you want to have to use a whole lot more Band-Aids, because this would be bad. With the state of this box knife, probably lead to significant infection. Why won't you open? Because you haven't cut away all the tape. Idiot. Come on. I'm just gonna have to Hulk mad my way through this thing. Give it to Jet Pens. Good job on the packing. Holy crap. Okay, there she is. Don't need that. Okay, enough with this. There we go. Ooh. Have our little user's manual, warranty card, and now for the reveal. Da, 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 da. Drum roll. There it is, in all its glory. This is a platinum mixable ink, and it definitely looks blue, which is not my favorite. Blue would not be my ink of choice. It seems like there are two people in the community. You're either a person that writes in blue or you're a person that writes in black. And I am a person that writes in black, unless I'm doing something special. But this is a mixable ink. Create your own ink colors. Ooh, I may have to look into that. That sounds like fun. Then we have our little cartridge converter there. This is the star, of course. Take that off. Let's move this so I can get a better look at this lovely pen. It says right around the band here, Platinum 3776 Century. Shape of a heart. And the reason they call this shape of a heart is because when you look at this nib, which is a 14 karat gold nib, now this is an extra fine. See if I can get a better shot of this so that you can actually see it. You see that ink hole in the nib itself is in a shape of a heart. Well, this is pretty standard for this platinum pen to have that ink hole stamped in that fashion. But they have taken that little cutout and they have put it in this little cap end. You see him there? All of the accents are in that rose gold color. I don't own any of the other Century 3776 pens, so I don't really have anything to compare it to, but it's got a nice weight to it. Not so heavy that you would tire out. It does have the cap that screws on, which is nice. It posts very well. No slippage there on once, and I didn't have to put it on very firmly. Has a nice grip where the pen would be held in the fingers. Well, let's load it up and see how it writes. Okay, folks, I had a really hard time determining what ink I wanted to put in this. I didn't want to use a shimmer ink because this is a fairly pricey pen, and I didn't want to run the risk because it is an extra fine nib, which is what I prefer to write in. There is a good chance of those glitter particles clogging the nib, and I didn't want that to happen. So I decided to skip the shimmer inks. It was really between two different inks. One was a sheening ink that I find particularly beautiful called Henry David Thoreau. Right there is a swatch of that, if you can kind of see. It is a dark green ink with a hint of red and purple sheen. It is beautiful. That's Organic Studios. The other ink that was a contender was a Diamine ink that is probably going to make my 2023 favorites list. It is Diamine's Writer's Blood. This one is very dark. It will look black in an extra fine nib, but as you can see, it is more of a deep magenta, maybe? A deep purpley, red, pink. Gotta love that name, Writer's Blood. Whew. So that's what I filled the pen up with. And I did use the converter. I filled the converter about halfway full. Right there you can see that is the ink in this dark portion here. And I have yet to even test this on a scrap piece of paper. We are going to do the test here live. First stroke to last stroke. That sounded weird. Let's use this. It is a Hobonichi planner. It's got that Tomoe River paper in it that's so fountain pen friendly. Okay, so it's not... There we go. Well, folks, that is a nice writer. Very smooth, just the right amount of feedback, at least for me. And you better expect a little bit of feedback in a pen that's an extra fine of any sort. But I'm a very tactile person, so I like having some feedback in my pen. But once the ink got flowing, and it took 3 or 4 empty strokes, and then it flowed very nicely, that's a winner. Ooh, this is definitely a keeper. I will say that it is a fairly expensive pen. I had it as a reward for myself because I don't typically, every time I buy a pen, buy one that costs this much. You should be able to expect a decent performance or way better than average performance for that kind of price. But there isn't really anything I don't like about this pen. It's very classy looking, but it's got a little bit of girly flair there at the end with the shiny jewels and the little heart. This is my first pen that I've had rose gold accents on. I like it. I wasn't sure if I would like it with the black because I do tend to prefer silver accents. And there's something about a black pen with silver accents that is just the epitome of cool, which is exactly what I'm shooting for, right? Because I want to be cool like everybody else, which is a lie because I am the goofiest person you will ever meet. But it is growing on me. It's growing on me. Already in February, this might be a contender at the end of the year for my favorite fountain pen. I will continue to use this until I get a little more wear and tear on it and use up what ink that I have in this converter to really give it a good test run. And honestly, because this looks so dark, I don't mind using this ink in my planner. Since it basically looks black at first glance anyway, I will continue to use this and give you an update at the end of the year. Thanks for joining me for the first fountain pen unboxing of 2023. Can I get it to stay? No. Of course not. Can I get it to... Come on. Oh, you look at that. It balanced. Now I'm going to touch it. I'm going to touch it and it's going to fuck it all up. Yep.